Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Selamat datang ke podcast kita Family. Dalam podcast ini, kami akan bincangkan perihal yang berkaitan dengan makna serta kepentingan hidup bermasyarakat, menghargai keunikan serta kepelbagaian sesama kita dan meraihkan masyarakat kita yang berbilang agama, kaum, kepercayaan, rupa dan juga keupayaan. Kita menghargai hidup secara inklusif yang mengambil kira keperluan segenap lapisan masyarakat, terutama bagi mereka yang kurang atau berkelainan upaya.
Yeay, pertama kali intro yang tepat.
Yay, well done Didi.
Well done, Didi.
Hari ini saya jadi moderator dari jauh dari Kota Kinabalu dan bersama saya secara virtual di studio kita ada Desiree,
Hello.
Anit
Hai.
dan juga Nori.
Assalamualaikum. Hello.
Okey, saya nak mulakan episod ke-6 kali ni dengan satu soalan. Kita mulakan dengan Desiree. Soalan yang sama okey untuk setiap orang. Siapakah individu yang paling penting dalam hidup kita semua? Desiree.
Soalan susah ni. Nanti takut my family terasa pula kalau I pilih seorang. So, I'm going to go with my dog.
Okay. Anit.
Trick question tau. And this is going on air. Someone sure tersinggung kalau I jawab. So I tak nak jawab boleh
Yeah, it will stay forever on the internet ya.
Ya. So tak nak jawab. Because
tak
you
nak
ask
jawab.
one person. I ada list
Tak
panjang.
boleh pilih satu.
Tak boleh.
Oh, tak boleh.
Tak boleh.
Alright, Nori.
Nasib baik I ada belajar daripada seorang terapis jawapan kepada trick question Didi. Okay, so who is the most important person in your life? Right? Siapakah orang yang paling penting dalam hidup kita? Well, supposed to be kita sendirilah. Diri kita sendiri adalah orang yang paling penting kerana kalau tidak, dunia kita tidak akan wujud tanpa diri kita. Betul tak?
Wow.
Betul,
Yeah,
betul.
Alhamdulillah. Sebab tapi kalau Nuri sendiri, I had to learn that, I had to learn that. I would not have answered that question. I didn't answer that question before. I actually had the same kind of answer, not dog, cat or everybody else, but yeah. Okay,
typically kita
why
akan
are you
sebut orang
asking
lain,
this question? Mesti moderator ada cara-cara dia yang tersendirilah. Silakan moderator.
Kita ada
Kenapa
misi
you tanya
khas
saya?
hari ni. Hari ni episod istimewa sempena International Women's Day 2024.
Yay.
Dan the day itself tahun ni sangat kena dengan kita, dengan podcast kita Family, which is Inspire Inclusion.
Wow.
Kan?
Masya Allah.
Memang sangat penting, sangat appropriate dan sangat tepatlah untuk kita menyambut bersama dengan satu episod khas untuk Hari Wanita Antarabangsa 2024.
Wow.
Didi.
Seolah-olah ada somebody
Pergi trigger kan?
request. Saya nak
to coincide
cadangkan.
with our theme.
Wow, but that's really
Kan
cool.
sebab inclusion kan penting sangat untuk kita. Okay.
That is amazing. So a lot of people are going to be talking about inclusion, insyaAllah, right?
Betul. Inspirasi. Kita bukan setakat promote, kita nak galakkan, kita nak inspire kan. Jadi soalan pertama dalam episod ni, saya nak tanyalah kepada sahabat-sahabat saya yang jauh di mata tapi dekat di hati. Apakah peranan wanita, kita sebagai wanita dalam keluarga, especially keluarga yang macam kita, keluarga yang ada anak-anak neurodivergent, yang lain daripada keluarga lain. Kalau boleh saya silakan Desiree untuk kongsi sedikit cerita.
Wow, I'm in the hot seat first today. Okay, so pada saya, the mother is always the heart of the family lah. Kan, tak kira family tu family yang typical, family yang diverse in many ways. Dan inilah yang saya pelajari dari ibu saya sendiri. She still is the heart of our family, a loving grandmother. And so pada saya peranan ibu dalam membesarkan anak-anak kami yang berbeza sedikit memang sangat unik, kan? Saya takkan guna perkataan mencabar sebab the word here is unique. Sebab kita bukan setakat ibu sahaja kepada anak-anak kita. For me, my family's Grab driver. Anak ada terapi, ada sekolah, siapa yang bawa? Mami. We are also cikgu dan therapist. And therapist dalam pelbagai masuk therapist, whether it's occupational therapist, speech therapist, or in some cases psychologist juga kepada anak-anak kami. And our role as women as well, in addition to being a mother, we are still wives. We have roles to our husband, right? And for me, I also have a very active role as a daughter to care for my parents as well in their old age now. So memang saya akan guna perkataan unik. Peranan kami sebagai wanita dan ibu di dalam keluarga sangat unik.
Betul. Menarik tu Desiree sebab kita bukan satu role saja. Kita punya peranan tu memang berbagai dan semua tu penting. Bukan boleh macam, saya nak jadi seorang ibu yang hanya memasak saja. So kita mesti berbagai-bagai ni kan kebolehan. Anit?
So, like they say in English, you wear different hats. So topi berlainan. So ikut pada masa tu. So apa yang perlu dibuat pada masa itu, topi itulah seseorang wanita pakai. So if at that point dia perlu jadi beri keutamaan kepada anak dia untuk jadi kaunselor, dia jadi kaunselor. Perlu untuk jadi tukang masak, dia jadi tukang masak. Perlu jadi Grab driver, dia jadi Grab driver dengan supir. So it's
Super mom.
It's an evolving role. Tapi in the end,
Exactly.
Scientifically, the nucleus of the family.
At least berapa hat tu agak-agak Anit? In a day?
Oh, tak boleh kira. Depends on the day. Depends on the day. Yeah. So if it's a difficult day, if you're working, maybe more than 10 hats sometimes. And it depends on how many kids you have too. Sebab kesemua anak-anak ada keperluan sendiri. And then kadang-kadang kena jadi mediator, counselor, break up their fights, suruh mereka bertolak ansur, kan?
Itu baru satu sebagai ibu.
And then sebagai wife, daughter-in-law, daughter, niece, depending on your family and how big and diverse it is. Oh, kena jadi personal shopper juga tau.
Itu yang paling best. I love it.
Yang tu we don't mind kan?
Yeah, anytime.
Janji bukan duit kita.
Yeah, nak kirim dengan duit sekali lah. Okay. Nori, what do you think peranan wanita dalam keluarga?
Okay, so I think memang of course saya setuju sangatlah dengan apa yang telah Desiree dengan Anit sebut. Maybe kalau boleh I will talk about peranan dalam keluarga yang mempunyai ahli keluarga yang neurodivergent, right? I think that often wanita, especially kalau wanita yang seorang ibu, dia akan menjadi case manager. So what is a case manager? Case manager maknanya orang yang akan meninjau, merancang, mengumpulkan, menghubungkan semua, like having the bird's eye view of whatever is needed for the neurodivergent individual or the child. So usually in the context, if it's a mother, it's for the child. So akan ada seseorang yang perlu menjadi orang yang tahu semua elemen-elemen, semua ciri-ciri yang diperlukan dalam kehidupan seharian seseorang anak yang memerlukan sokongan dan intervensi dan apa-apa perkara yang tambahan lah berbanding dengan maybe anak-anak yang lain. That is the extra peranan on top of peranan yang dimainkan oleh wanita lain di dalam konteks keluarga. I would say that there's this extra layer. So which is why bila ada that extra layer, adalah that sort of maybe extra responsibility, so many of those things kan. So yang lain tu memang sudah tentu, especially I felt dalam pandemic tu, minimum 3 hats a day lah kan. The mama hat, the therapist hat, the teacher tiba-tiba semua kena jadi teacher kan. Sebab semua orang belajar kat rumah, tak nak pergi sekolah. So there's very many things. So definitely the role is multiple. I think semua orang akan bersetuju. But I would say that's something yang mungkin orang tak terfikirkan sebagai satu peranan yang sama ada kita nak atau tidak. Usually kita akan terpaksa jadi the case manager lah. Even if you don't really know what to do.
Yep.
Yes.
Right? You didn't get professionally trained for that part. But suddenly
You jump into the
have
deep
to
end. Yeah.
look at like all of that, right? So that is an added role on top of everything else, like mother, daughter, wife, sister, daughter-in-law.
Dan sebagainya.
Semua tu ada. Yeah. So this is the extra peranan lah, I think, when it's families like ours. Are we all case managers for our kids?
Yes, I would say
Is
it's
there
like
any one of us that's not? No, right?
we connect the dots because, like it or not, our children see different types of professionals. Whether it's developmental pediatricians for
Yeah.
follow-ups,
And people have to be on the same page.
OTs. So
Speak
we
to
are
each other, yeah.
we are the
the
one that
bridge.
connect with the bridge, because
Yeah.
if we don't hold that information, how do we then give our child a holistic approach to the interventions that they get?
We have to include everybody. So that we
Inclusion
see
in that too.
inclusion.
Yes.
Exactly.
We have to keep track of the appointments. We keep track of the appointments, and
Yeah.
if there's a change, we need to adjust to that change and adjust that quickly, because you just can't tell a neurodivergent child that today this is not happening.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is a crisis case manager.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
crisis manager
Crisis
as
manager
well.
as well. Betul. But to be fair, crisis management tu other women buat jugalah.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's ada siapa yang ada anak dan siapa duduk dalam rumah yang ada beberapa individu, akan ada seseorang yang memainkan peranan to deal with that kind of thing. That's for sure. But that's why I thought let's just mention something a little bit different that maybe other women don't necessarily do, the case management part.
Like I did mention dalam episode special Chinese New Year, I cakap pasal kita sebagai ibu kepada anak-anak autistik, where we have to be personal assistant kan. Kita kena bagi tahu siap-siap. So that's one thing jugalah, like how we arrange our day. Kita yang decide nak buat apa. Lepas tu jangan lupa prep anak kita, buat social story, visual schedule to let them know how the day is going. So that's a bit different daripada family yang tak ada neurodivergent members lah, I think.
Betul.
And
No,
also,
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
kan?
Yeah. Betul.
So, and then all this kan, macam Nori cakap, kita nak jadi case manager, it doesn't come naturally. We all have to really study, learn through workshops, we attend like support group activities, we have
That's
friends
true.
that share similar struggles. I think it's ongoing learning kan?
Yes.
Yes.
Sangat-sangat perlu. Memang dia tidak akan datang secara semula jadi, dan kita semua tak tiba-tiba je pandai boleh buat benda ni. Memang kadang-kadang kalau kita tengok sampai sekarang pun still struggle with a few things. But yeah, because of that, the continuing education is extra important. So it's like we're also a learner lah. Right? You all
Yeah.
like to say that a lot, right?
Yes.
Kita masih rasa macam budak masih baru belajar walau berubah berumur. But so apart from being the case manager, suddenly we also find that we are students.
Yep.
That's
And
the
we are
role.
upskilling.
We are learners. Yeah,
Lifelong
we have
learners.
to, yeah.
Yeah, we
That's
have to be
another
lifelong
role of
learners.
a woman in the family in our context.
It's like, firstly, we need to deal with toddlers and babies to toddlers, to school going, to teen hormones, to adulthood, what we can and what we cannot do. And with a neurodivergent child, everything is extra for each level.
Yes.
And we learn at every level, and we don't know the answer.
Absolutely.
And-
you,
And then for
that was
ourselves
one of
as well. Yeah. I think if we look into ourselves as well, kita juga evolve. The way we handle our emotion, our struggles when we were younger, at the age of 30 and at the age of 40 are very different.
Yep.
So
Totally.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think kita punya role dan the way we handle things also kan ada evolution kat situ.
Oh, pasti. I don't think I'm the same
Mm.
person that I was. Didi,
Mm.
are you Desiree? What about you?
Definitely not the same person I was 6, 7 years ago, or even 10 years ago. And going back to what Anit said about the lifelong learning as our children grow up, that was one of the things that I struggle with, kan? The episode sebelum ni kita cerita tentang acceptance and diagnosis of our children. For me, yang didn't quite register in the beginning that the learning is lifelong. So, upon diagnosis, memang go out there, learn. In order to be my son's case manager, I kena belajar pelbagai benda. And then
Tapi tak adalah semua orang sampai pergi ambil masters ni.
Yes, exactly.
as a woman who wants to inspire inclusion,
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
So then my son turned 7, and early intervention is no longer early intervention. He's 7, and that's when it dawned on me like, oh my God, learning is lifelong. So to continue being that case manager for my child, memang we have to evolve, we have to learn, and we have to change. Change is inevitable.
And we need to teach as well.
Yep.
Because when you learn, hopefully we can share our knowledge, and in a small way, kita boleh ajar dan kongsi pengalaman, kongsi pengetahuan, which
Inspire inclusion.
inspire inclusion. Yes, we're back to it.
Back to that. So, kalaulah many other women, all the hats that they have kan, kita bayangkan hat tu dalam satu almari, kita punya dalam satu walk-in closet.
Yeah.
Hats kita lagi banyak.
Yes.
Tapi ada masa tak untuk arrange macam walk-in closet?
Jangan sebut apa rupa closet kita dan apakah keadaan topi-topi itu semua. Tapi topi tu kita tahu lebih banyak daripada yang biasa.
Janji closet tu pintu boleh tutup.
Yeah,
Walk-in
that's
closet is a door, it's a room.
Yeah, so
right?
tutup.
Yeah.
Close the door.
And
Okay.
kadang-kadang kita perlu sembunyikan dari closet tu. Boleh ke?
Yeah.
That
We will
brings
talk
us to the
about it
next
after
part,
this.
right? Yeah.
We will talk after this about it. Okay. Let's take a break and come back after this. Selamat kembali ke episod ke-6 kita Family Podcast. Sebentar tadi kita bercakap tentang peranan wanita di dalam keluarga, terutamanya dalam keluarga yang ada ahli keluarga yang neurodivergent. Jadi dalam kita pakai berbagai topi tu, banyak peranan, kita nak kongsi jugalah dengan pendengar dan penonton kita macam mana pengalaman kita semua sebagai ibu kepada anak-anak neurodivergent, pengalaman kita bercinta. Bercinta dengan siapa tu? Kali ni kita sebab sempena kan, sempena International Women's Day, kita cakap tentang cinta kepada diri sendiri, swacinta. Cinta pada diri sendiri. So bila kita cakap pasal cinta, kita bercakap tentang macam mana kita menjaga diri, self care. Jadi kita mulakan dengan Anit untuk berkongsi tentang topik self care.
Okay, ni topik yang sangat susah bagi saya sebab
Tahu
a
tak
lot
apa.
of a lot of the times kita jadi overwhelmed kan in auto functioning mode. There's a list of things to be done, you want to tick off the list, and then tak ada masa untuk bernafas. Just go and tahu-tahu dah end of the day, lepas tu oh my god, the day is gone. Esok pula list lain. But I think through all my interactions with other moms and other amazing women who sometimes just say, jom mengopi, jom makan kek dengan kopi. So that is one of the things that we look forward to, even if it's setengah jam, 45 minutes, tak kira lah masa dia. Tapi just some sort of recreational thing. And like they say when you board a plane, kan ada briefing. Pramugari will give you the briefing to say, okay, if you are travelling with a child, please fasten your seatbelt before you fasten the seatbelt of a child, or when the oxygen mask comes down in time of crisis, please affix your oxygen mask dulu, baru kepada anak anda. So I think that is a good tip, that it's good to look after your needs too. Jangan mengabaikan diri sendiri sampai tak boleh menjaga ahli keluarga lain.
But you took a while to learn that.
Oh, I took a long while. Yeah.
Kita kena, there are times that kita kena prioritize, utamakan diri, and it's self-care is not selfish, kan? Have you heard of that?
Yep.
But it takes a long time to learn that, especially when you have nobody to remind you. So I'm very grateful because I have people like Nori, Desiree, Didi, and sometimes it's just a reminder that, hang on, pause, chill. And then you go, oh, I forgot to chill.
I was just thinking, I don't think we were taught this. I was not really taught this. Tak ada siapa-siapa yang mengajar saya bahawa sebenarnya saya perlu menjaga diri saya juga. I think especially from the family I come from, we are very service oriented. That is our DNA. So it's really interesting, and I am just like cucuk-cucuk skin poking fun at Anit because the two of us have talked about this over the so many years, berbelas-belas tahun that we've known each other, and we know that we're not good at this, but we had to learn along the way, and I think we learned it because we had our neurodivergent children, right? Because it became very, very obvious, like what you said, that tiba-tiba we're not a machine because we were pushed to the edge. We pushed ourselves to the edge. Yes. So bila sampai pada tahap yang memang kita dah tak dapat nafikan dan kita dah tahu dan dengan sejelas-jelasnya bahawa memang kita tak boleh buat segala-galanya dan kita pun kena rehat. Kita pun kena check if we're okay or not. And I don't think it would have happened with people like her and me and so many interesting things that we have to do. So I've had people ask me that question. I think that happened at the launch too. Thank you for that question. It's quite difficult for me to answer. Like, how do you do it? Like, what is your right? I don't think they use self-care in that instance. But if I can connect the things together, Didi's asking me about that, and I'm remembering the question on Slido, masa debut episode. Very hard. With a lot of support. So like Anit said, if she sees me as a support, I see her the same way. Definitely, she is very, very often one of my first texts or phone calls. So one big, huge support system, and you have to build it. Okay, if you are very, very blessed, Alhamdulillah, I am very, very blessed. I have great support system. My family, my in-laws, my family. And then built some more because we had to grow this village. So first you have to have a really, really, really great support system, and otherwise you cannot. And you also first, then you have to have that kesedaran lah. Sebenarnya first you have to acknowledge that self-care is not selfish. So it's great that you said that, and it's because I definitely didn't know that before. Kalau kita sebut perkataan self tu pun dah rasa macam benda yang bukan positif lah kalau kita fikirkan tu. Exactly. And mengutamakan diri sendiri tu is like memang tak kena dengan kita punya nilai-nilai dengan budaya orang timur. It's nilai-nilai like masyarakat kita. Exactly. It's more about the family, the society, the everybody else, right? So it's a big thing. But Alhamdulillah, I think we're learning, right? I mean, we definitely are. We're reminding each other. Baby steps for sure. But it's so important because you're right. Actually, you put it in that one sentence, very simple. We are not machines. Actually, machines pun kena maintain.
Dia pun ada downtime.
Kereta pun kita kena hantar servis. Wahai kita ni manusia, So, sorry, I just kind of jumped in there. But let's go to Desiree. I think this one much better at the, or a little bit better. The younger people. I really definitely.
I'm still learning.
Adik kita pandai tau.
Yes, adik kita pandai.
Adik pandai. So hari ni adik akan ceritakan how I got to that point because it was pretty scary at one point for me sebab in my family and extended family, saya lah baby, the youngest, whether it's in my immediate family. I have one kakak, I have many cousins, all my kakaks, right? And these people love me to the moon and back. And so selepas diagnosis anak saya when he was 2, a few months later my husband was diagnosed with cancer. 1 year later my mom had a recurrence of cancer. So banyak things going on. And people will ask me, how do you do it? I'm like, I do it because that's the only choice I have. What's the other choice? Sit in a corner and cry? And so I was going at warp speed, I don't know how many kilometers per hour. And so I remember then my cousin said, come, let's all go out. And I think this was about 2 years after Hans, my son's diagnosis. So I said, okay, fine, I'm going to make the time. Let's go, let's meet up. And the 6 of us are sitting down and I felt myself have macam, see, I have goosebumps now, like an out-of-body experience because everybody was talking and laughing and sharing what they did or some funny story. And that I used to be the
bubbly, lively one.
I used to be the center and the life of it. And I sat there and I had this out-of-body experience and I was just sitting quietly because I didn't know how to contribute to the conversation. I had forgotten how to be me. And as I looked at the Desiree sitting down there, I was like, oh my God, I feel so sorry for me.
Oh,
I was like, what happened to me? And that was like light bulb sort of thing went off in me. And I said, okay, I have to start looking after myself better. And that's when the processing happened that, hey, my son's condition is lifelong. So part of self-care, besides looking after me, taking breaks, getting my hair done, or going to the salon or the spa, very, very important part of self-care is my health. So it
like
started
health
with
checkups.
health checkups, regular health
medical,
checkups.
annual medical, semua tu. Yes.
And the reality for a lot of us with neurodivergent children is some of us feel that we hope to outlive our children.
Oh yes.
Or to live as long as they. I mean, it sounds very crass. It sounds morbid to some, but for some of us, that is a very hard reality we live every day, live with every day. And if you look at my family, I am the healthiest one around. So part of my self-care is regular health checks. And of course we have, everyone has something. I have things like migraines, acid reflux. So when you can manage it better. Right? So it's about managing because like what Nori said, we are our children's case managers. So how do we be that case manager when we are sitting in a ball in a corner in a dark room with a migraine? You have no choice. You have to get up. You have to go for that therapy which you've paid for. Right?
Which your child needs.
And your child needs. Right? So, for me, I came to that realization on the importance of self-care pretty quickly. But having said that, I do still need reminding. So I have my kakaks from kita family, of course. We are all in each other's toolboxes when we need each other. And of course, my best friends, my family always remind me that don't forget, Desiree, you are the life of the party as you've always been. Don't lose that.
Great stuff.
Well, there are 2 things that I can sum up from what Desiree said. One is healthy mind comes from healthy body. Because it's hard to be cheerful when you are not healthy. And then the second one is, whatever you are doing, whatever circumstances that we are going through, never lose yourself because you're never just one thing, never just a mother, never just a daughter, never just a wife, and never just whatever your profession is. Yeah, sister. So, don't lose yourself in one, not that saying that macam kita kena ada multiple personalities, not that. But, um, kan jangan, just swallow yourself, because, few years ago, masa my mother was really, really sick, it I felt that it was so easy to just stop doing everything but it wasn't healthy, kan? Kita rasa macam, I felt paralyzed. Now I wanna say how one of our kakak, SK helped me. I told her that I felt paralyzed. I was so anxious, sangat macam risau, rasa macam tak boleh nak buat apa-apa, nak schedule appointment for the kids pun rasa macam so difficult for me. And she said, just keep moving, Didi. You have to keep moving. You cannot just stop. And it helped. And yeah, because you can't change all the circumstances that we are going through, isn't it? We still have to be ourselves, and if our interest is singing, we go singing. If our interest is cooking, we keep cooking. Well, what are the things that you guys do during leisure time, like other than being mother, daughter, and everything?
I think well, before I was even married, I used to love baking. And I
Oh, her marble cake very good.
and
I'm a very grateful recipient of that marble cake. That marble cake is my self-care.
You have more sisters now. Don't forget. Don't forget us, yeah.
and I did a lot of it at the beginning when I was teaching Nirav sequencing, because I read somewhere that baking is such a precise science that if you can teach them to sequence, because one of the first things kalau darjah satu you go to school kan, dia jumble up all the words and then you kena unjumble the words untuk satu perkataan yang lengkap. So he was struggling with that. Sebab it's all jumbled. But guess what helped him? Baking with me. Because if I said we are going to make marble cake today or chocolate chip cookies today, we would have to write down what we're going to do. We have to plan everything
Step by step.
and have all the ingredients so that we get a perfect marble cake and a perfect chocolate chip cookie. And then you do one step at a time, you mix it right. And
So, does everybody see how Anit went from self-care discussion to what she does for
with
somebody
her
else?
son. Yes.
Now you know
Yeah.
why I was jelling-jelling at her.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know cakap apa ni pasal self-care?
tapi baking tu macam
Kelaut lah self-care. You see?
Choose something else. Choose something else.
Choose something else. See, you went and took something that was your leisure happy time and then you turned it
became
into
into-
something for somebody
Became a
else.
cikgu. Jadi cikgu.
Jadi cikgu leisure time ni jadi cikgu you all.
I love reading.
Anit has to leave this episode.
Yeah.
Self-care fail.
She just said reading, so we'll take
Okay,
that.
okay,
So reading.
okay.
Yeah.
I love
I-
To
reading.
yourself, yeah. Not
I
out
will say
loud to
you je,
someone
okay?
else.
I love you. You know.
Tapi I like reading. I love reading.
Okay.
Not just recipes, but I love reading.
Okay. Nori, K-drama, is it?
K-drama. K-drama, yes, K-drama. I like K-drama so much. I took classes with a dear friend who is a fellow autism mom. So the autism moms together went to decide to attempt to learn Korean in the pandemic when there was, you know,
say
trying to
something
fill
in
up your
Korean.
sense. Say something in Korean. Now you put me on the spot. What am I supposed to say in
I think
Korean?
that I love you is the easiest, right?
No, everybody says that, right?
I can't think of it now. What is it again?
what is it
I
again?
love you in Korean?
I love you. Oh my god, that one everybody knows. You don't have to take Korean class to learn
I
that.
don't know.
Sarange.
Sarange.
Sarangeyo.
Sarah?
You forgot this, Nori.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, all this.
All this.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason we like drama kan? Drama like other than the drama of our life. So, yeah.
Yes, kita kena tengok benda yang tak ada kena-mengena dengan kehidupan kita. So I tak suka tengok cerita yang berkaitan dengan mak, dengan anak, dengan kena belajar sekolah whatever. Lagi fantasia, lagi merepek, better. Because there's nothing to do with my reality of my exciting drama. You know, my life is very interesting, right? I mean, you know, look at the, you know, of course, our children, yeah, and you know, look who I'm married to, very interesting also. So it's, but you know, a lot of things, young self-care, I think is a lot like what other people do also. You have little hobbies, like I have a bunch of other mothers that, you know, that I dance with like once a week, because movement, right? Movement is very, very important. This is something we tell our kids who have sensory processing issues and so many other things need that extra, but all human beings are sentient beings. We need to move, and movement with music is really great. So I'm glad I still have that, and that is like a bit of a throwback because we listen to all these songs from the past when life was simpler and easier.
And
So
more
things like
carefree.
that. And also, I remember now, I just want to mention something. I know this is very weird when we talk about like self-care, but I'm thinking about things that everybody can do. So if I may, and this is something yang memang I amalkan over the years. This is what I've learned, and I think we did share it in our KFam socials. Breathing very consciously, deep breathing, regulating breathing. And just now Anit said, actually sometimes she feels overwhelmed. She doesn't think she's breathing. And that's because she's just like oxygen to enter her body, because terpaksa kalau kita tak ada oxygen langsung memang kita dah tergolek lah memang. You cannot, of course you're not living without oxygen, right? But what she meant was she was not actually even breathing for her body to be in a good place. Like how can you regulate yourself if you're not taking as much as oxygen as possible? So do the deep breathing, whether it's the square breathing, and so breathing helps a lot, and that is just momentary self-care. That's like your moment of mindfulness. Also sort of like since pandemic and all that, I've combined that with like zikir. And then zikir, I think if you're a Muslim, you can choose whatever suits you. And I think in other faiths, they have their own version of chanting or a mantra. Those kind of motions, I think, are very helpful as well. So you can kind of, combine things like that. And also, I remember running a parent workshop, and I told all the parents, I said, look, if you need a break, take a break, even if that break means that you duduk dalam tandas dan tak keluar.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I've done
My
that
showers
before.
are the best.
Yes, I'm there longer,
done
and
that
the my boys are all like, why is she in the toilet so long? They don't realize I'm staying away from them.
They're gonna know now,
And that
Nori.
is something, look, it's a luxury to be able to say, oh, you need to get away with your friends and give yourself a treat and go on a, spa and all that. I said, look, the truth is that's not available. Itu bukan benda yang semua orang boleh buat. Dan itu bukan benda yang memang semua orang minat ataupun kita tak mampu.
Yeah.
Let's face it lah. Kadang-kadang bila kita sebut pasal benda ni and like, oh, girls trip semua, siapa tak nak benda-benda macam tu? But is it something that works for everybody? It's hard. And even if let's say, okay lah, they will say, you mampu. I said, yeah, maybe, but I have to be around. My kids need me.
Yep.
I need to be there, at home. And sometimes you cannot go anywhere. So what can you do during the day? If you have to just sit in your bathroom, go ahead and do that. Duduklah dalam tandas. Mainlah whatever. Play your word. Like I play word games. Like play what people like Candy Crush or something. Whatever you need to do in there, or bring your phone, because you can watch Netflix on your phone, right? Give yourself a breather, because if there's no other corner in your house, kata dah duduk dalam rumah yang ramai ahli keluarga. We have a lot of space in a beautiful home, but kita memang ramai ahli keluarga, live in an extended family. There's 8 family members in my house. You have to find a quiet corner, and sometimes your quiet corner is your bathroom. So during the day, self-care also includes small moments. So I would say do those small things to get you through the day. If you have I think Muslims are very, very fortunate and blessed. We have to pause 5 times a day. That's the moment of mindfulness. When I grew up, perkataan mindful ni tak wujud. Kita tak tahu apa benda ni untuk fikirkan kenapa, berhenti seketika. Jangan fokus pada benda-benda lain, bawa ketenangan pada kita, fikirkan fokus pada satu benda sahaja. Mindful, apa mindful ni? Tak ada that time.
Kamus pun tak ada. Dalam kamus pun tak ada.
And but why I think maybe we were sort of lucky, or we managed to get by, as I think as a Muslim, it's like because we had prayer, right? Prayer is a moment of mindfulness. And we have to do it, 5 times a day. So to me, actually, this is a blessing. This is like a divine message to say, everybody needs to pause and break at least this many times during the day.
Yeah.
So come up with your own version, right? Come up with your own version, and get help if you need to get help. The self-care, one of the self-care things is get help. I'm so grateful for so much help. I'm going to take this opportunity for IWD to shout out the amazing women that I have in my family. I cannot live without them. I don't have, arwah mama, I don't have my mother anymore, but my mother-in-law, my stepmother, my sisters, my sister-in-law, my godmother, they do they do so much. Like sometimes they are taking on extra. They're doing roles of things which I feel I should be doing, but they have taken it on so that I can give a bit more attention to my boys, especially like Timo, right? And not just Timo. Rafe is, my little guy. He's only 8, and my oldest guy, well, he has a medical condition. So I have very colorful family. Got one with a developmental condition, and we discovered in the pandemic was one with a medical condition, and both are probably lifelong. And the little one is still little. And so ask for help, and then just give gratitude for what you have. And I want to shout out to the my the amazing women in my family who have allowed me to do what I have to do, but also have a breather. Sometimes I feel incredibly guilty. So that's why self-care is so hard. You still feel that you need to do all those things. Where is the time for self-care?
Yeah.
That's why. So I think sometimes they say, lack of sleep. We don't sleep enough because we suddenly have to try to find a bit of time for ourselves, and that only happens at night when everybody else is gone to bed. But we're not ready to sleep yet because we're either too wired or we want to do something small and happy to make us feel a bit better. Listen to our own Spotify playlist ke, baca buku. Time tu dapat tengok K-drama sekejap, and then of course, then what do? You sacrifice sleep. So that was one kind of self-care. Something else was neglected. So it's hard, right? So it's an ongoing thing. I'm still learning, clearly very, very much still learning. So it's not easy, but yeah, and thank you, you guys. Thank you, and Kakak who's not here as well. SK, thank you.
I need to echo exactly what Nori said, and I also wanted to say that I think podcast has been, other than this, have been one of my lifelines of learning, because sometimes one of the chances I get to listen to podcasts is only when I'm driving in between fetching someone or getting to the next
like an
place.
audiobook. You like reading. Maybe
Yes,
it's a bit like that.
because
right?
it's like
the
an
story
audiobook.
has come through
Through
this
a
medium
different
of a voice.
Yeah, and instead of not being able to read because then I need to be alone, here I'm doing two things at the same time. I'm heading somewhere, I can pause, I can start again with a bookmark, and podcast has been a great way to learn and to broaden my horizons, even about self-care.
Mm-mm. Just to add, ladies, as a sole caregiver to my children, right? When they were much younger, it was so hard for me to find time to do my own things because they need like 24 hours supervision, like they don't know danger, like even like going to the toilet, I was like keeping I mean like pasang telinga, make sure that nothing happen, like semua tergesa-gesa,
Safety.
like
Yeah.
always in heightened anxiety, and I call it what do you maksudnya dalam keadaan yang tak tenang, and memang tak ada masa tau nak keluar ke nak ni.
Ada
But
research kan pasal ni, Didi?
ada research yang mengatakan ibu bapa kepada anak autistik mempunyai stress level setinggi askar-askar yang berada dalam combat, pertempuran.
Wow.
So just imagine that kind of level. So what I found work, kita kena ada intention. Maksudnya planning, memang kena belajar. Kalau risau keselamatan anak, we have to make the house safe.
Exactly.
Ada safe space, and then kita kena ada collaboration dengan kita punya partner. Like, okay, saya dah set kan, rumah dah selamat, I have like all the laundry, you macam, okay, hari ni pakai baju apa-apa, and let me go off for a few days, or go, at least we start with a few hours lah, we go out for coffee ke. And I also learned that, yelah, self-care is one thing, but kita selain daripada menyayangi diri, of course kita pun nak rasa disayangi. Kita nak kita punya partner tunjukkan yang it's not just about the whole family, but we matters as well. So I did share in one of the workshop, right? I said bila anak-anak saya habis daripada cuti, bila cuti sekolah kan macam they were like at home all the time, and I have to manage them all the time. And first day of going back to school after long holidays, my husband would take a leave. Not to macam sebab nak sama-sama hantar nak pergi sekolah. That one I can manage. I'm a great super mom. I can
Super
drop them
mom.
off. Super mom. So but it's actually to spend time just the two of us.
Yeah.
You know, like kan peranan kita, okay, not just as a mother, okay, as husband and wife, we just spend the whole day together until the school ends lah for that day. So communication as well, I think very important. Open communication. When we need the time, we need to communicate lah to whoever that can help us. Can apa, yelah, so that we have the opportunity to. Kan all this self-care, it requires space, it require
Time.
kita punya intention that we want to do it, space in our mind and time. So you cannot like macam, oh kalau ada masa, boleh lah. No, we have to make time for all of this, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then like every time looking back to all the pictures that we took, the 5 of us bila pergi kopi-kopi kan, semua ambil gambar, masa ambil gambar I tengok semua senyum meleret macam so happy. So we need time like with different, not just the same group. Well, kita ada kawan kawan kerja, kawan sekolah, like neighborhood. So I pernah juga cakap in one ada satu event ni, I cakap masa dulu lah we thought that autism is yang tak suka jumpa orang, but we are wrong. It's tak semestinya kalau autistic tu you tak suka jumpa orang kan. But I said that at the time because I thought like, oh, being autistic means you don't want to go see people. So I said autistic ni boleh berjangkit lah. Dia berjangkit pada parents. Sebab bila anak keluar kita pun kan.
So it promotes isolation. Are you saying that, Didi?
I no, what I'm saying is like don't let it be like that lah. Macam
Yeah.
not every outing kita kena pergi the whole family.
Yeah.
Kalau anak kita tak suka menyanyi, tak payahlah bawa pergi karaoke. Kita pergilah karaoke dengan kawan-kawan yang suka menyanyi.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kan? So macam anak saya suka swimming. So mama pun terpaksalah belajar swimming. Tapi yelah, we try to enjoy each other. Yang mana boleh sama-sama enjoy, kita enjoy. Yang mana yang separately dia suka lain, kita suka lain, we keep dengan apa yang kita minat dengan orang yang boleh pergi dengan kita lah. Kalau macam nak kopi, ajak dengan orang yang suka minum kopi, suka pergi kafe.
Boleh
So,
je. You're saying
it doesn't have
plan
to be
for
a
it
unit
lah.
kan, unit
Yeah.
the whole.
Diversity
Find
in
time,
self-care.
find circle.
Yes.
Kan?
Yes.
Diversity in self-care, Didi. Kan?
Yeah.
And be and what? Prepare. So if you
Prepare.
want some time for yourself, you prepare for that also lah.
Yes,
kan?
exactly.
You
Yeah.
you plan for it lah
Make
juga.
plans.
Macam kita make plans untuk anak-anak kita. So I suppose
Make plans for us.
make plans for yourself.
Yep.
And when we inspire inclusion, and if someone else is able to step in even for 10 minutes, that would give 10 minutes of self-care.
And you know what you just said, Anit, if someone says, hey, let me look after your child for 10 minutes. Well, yes, that's good for you, the mother. Imagine how much better it is for your child to have the opportunity to interact with someone else as well. So that was a big thing for me as well. Letting go of my child for someone to look after. And I realized he's making memories with people other than me. And great that he's having a good time when I can go off and look after myself as well. So it's a win-win and win actually. 3 wins there.
Yeah. Don't
Very
think that
right.
your kid wants to hang out with you all
All
the time. sebenarnya.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, they're cooler
Yeah.
people than you out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
And then it's not jangan rasa bersalah lah nak have a little bit of fun, because when we come back from having fun with like our friends ke families ke, we have more to spread. You know, like people say you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Empty cup,
Yeah.
yes.
Your tank is full.
Kan?
Fill your tank.
Fill your tank.
Yeah, fill your cup, and then make sure your toolkit, you guys are part of my toolkit as well. Toolkit to make you grounded. I always say like find friends that can can laugh and also cry together.
And berjoget together. And berkaraoke.
Yeah, and sing.
Yeah, and the
So, yeah,
together thing
everybody
is quite
needs that. So yeah. So we learn that we are important. You are the most important person in our life. We have to recognize that our roles are like so big, but at the same time to make us not not saying better, but to keep alive, we also have to love ourselves. We deserve it, right? We cannot just like keep like giving and giving. But there are times that we don't have to wait for people to give something back to us. We take charge. We plan for things to make us feel better, self care, take care of ourselves. And Desiree, if you remember when we were in during clubhouse days, three things that important to make us like healthy psychologically. We need sleep, body movement, and good diet.
Yes.
So if we make sure, at least those three, and then like we include other fun things as well, inshallah we will be a not necessarily like I would say that we have to be happy, but to build resilient as well because we don't know what gonna come in our life, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess with that, thank you so much to our listeners and our viewers. This is the end of episode 6. Happy International Women's Day 2024. Inspire inclusion, and see you later. Bye.
Bye.